Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Indie's Insights and Innovations presentation, where we have our wonderful friends at Cartology today, and they're going to be talking to us about the Cartology Classroom, a look behind the curtain of all of the wonderful things in their ecosystem. And there are quite a few things, and probably agencies haven't really been exposed to exactly the full power and capabilities than what they have. What they have. So I think it's going to be a really quite an eye opener. We're going to hear from the great Holly Yates. And she's going to be, and Andrew and Carla are going to be talking as well. But to do a wonderful and more formal introduction, over to the wonderful Holly.
Perfect, Sam. Thank you, and great setup as well. So as Sam mentioned, my name is Holly Yates, and I lead a couple of the agency teams here at Cartology. I actually have a major focus around the independent agencies, hence why I really enjoy hosting these Insights and Innovation sessions. So thank you very much for joining us here this afternoon. It's much appreciated. So today what we're going to share with you, as Sam said, it's an exclusive preview to our new Cartology Classroom education program. And part of my role here working with independent agencies is really around leaning in and hearing from our agency partners on what's going to be extremely valuable. And we're hearing when it comes to retail media, we're wanting to make sure we're sharing as much as we possibly can. Currently the work we're doing with a lot of you from an agency perspective, but also those key areas where we haven't really spoken about before, and we wanted to use this time to dive into a little bit further. So today we'll be sharing more in just a moment. I'm going to talk a little bit further about that evolving retail landscape. Then we'll provide a comprehensive overview of each stage of that customer journey in that pre-shop where we're currently working with agency partners with, all the way to that active shop, and we like to refer to as sofa to shelf. We're also going to demystify a couple of those key events that I'm sure when you're walking through Woolworths, you're seeing these big brand moments and wondering how your clients can or are involved in them. So we're going to demystify that a little bit further as well. And really, Sam mentioned it and I did earlier, but this is a first look. We're planning on taking this out to market to other agency partners in the next couple of months. So if you listen to this session today and you think you would like to hear more, have a more intimate session for your agency, or you'd like us to include your agency partners, so clients as well, we can absolutely facilitate that too. So what I'll do now, if we just jump to the next slide, I'll introduce the who's who on the call with me today. So I've already introduced myself, but joining me, when you think about Cartology, there's a whole engine room that sits behind us. So I thought I'd bring along a couple of the key experts for today. So Carla Bastone is our Senior Marketing Integration Manager. She joins us on the call today. Thanks, Carla. And then also joining us is Andrew Bonici, or Bon, as you might hear me refer to him a bit later on. So Bon has been pivotal in launching and creating a world-class, I like to believe, planning tool that our trade teams are using. You might have heard it in the press last year called Planet, but for the purposes of today, Bon is really going to dive in that comprehensive overview on all things Cartology. So thanks, team. So I'll just quickly dive into a little bit more around that evolution of retail media. So currently, retail media is being referred to almost as that third wave of advertising. It has that unique benefit of targeting and measurement capabilities, like digital media has as well. But interestingly and importantly, it also has that traditional large scale and reach that traditional media players also have too. So you can tell that retail media is in a really unique position, unlike a lot of the other traditional media areas as well. So if we look and take a look at the global retail media spectrum, it is the fastest growing channel that we have been seeing from a global perspective. And while we're starting to see traditional media growth is slowing down slightly, retail media is continually outpacing. So we're seeing that there's a growth year on year of 17%. What that means is we've gone from being the new kid on the block about 5 years ago to being a real dominant player in this industry as well, which is really exciting. So to put that in perspective, in the last 5 years, what we've been able to achieve is similar to what search achieved in 14 years. So it's such a quick pace that we're at. And it's for this reason we really wanted to make sure that we're sharing as much information as we possibly can with our agency partners, and hence the core focus on that today. So one key thing I also wanted to highlight as well, and we love that the IMAA host their Indie census every single year. So those results were just released, and it was great to see that the thinking that we're seeing from a global perspective, we're also seeing is coming through from you all, from the IMAA members. So what we're seeing is it's reflected in the next 12-month predictions that 60% are currently planning to buy media in the next 12 months. When it comes to retail media, but interestingly, 40% are stating that they're expecting to see this grow by more than 25%. So if we look at that data in comparison to how we've already seen that growth with our independent agency partners, it's really exciting to see that a lot of you are already planning to be on this journey with us as well. If I take a step over to look at the Australian market, we're looking at, it is the most advanced when it comes to the APAC region. What we're seeing is that growth is continually happening. There's projections of about 5 billion in the next 12 months, which is pretty exciting and big numbers to see. And the key piece here as well, you'll start to see, we know there's lots of different partners, and ecosystem is filling up. You can see the press release there. It feels like there's a new entrant into the market every single week. But what's important to state is that Cartology has really been there from the beginning, and what we've been able to do is future-proof ourselves for this projected growth too. So if we jump to the next slide, what I just wanted to showcase is a little bit more around what that last 5 to 6 years has looked like at Cartology. There's been a lot of change in the last 5 years from when we launched in 2019, from humble beginnings, believing there was about 10 people within the business servicing our trade clients, to now, if we look at the numbers that we currently have, we have more than 440 employees here at Cartology. We're looking after more than 200 media touch points as well. So you can see that that growth has been really key. Notably, a couple of the key launches that we've seen is our off-network proposition, which started in 2021, where we partnered with the likes of YouTube, and most recently we've partnered with Spotify and Pinterest. So we're seeing this off-network partnership continually evolving, which we know our agency partners are currently speaking to our teams about. But importantly, what we also wanted to call out is the growth that we have seen in the retail media landscape as well. We're investing significantly in this space, and as you would have seen, in the last 2 years with the acquisition of Shopper, and then in the last 12 months with the continued partnership or extension of partnership that we had, we started with the Vicinity Group. We're now reaching more, 540 centres, which is more than 1 and 2 in Australia. So when you're thinking about that reach that we have at Cartology, you can see that retail out of home space is a really strong area that we're playing into. So for the purposes of today's session, a lot of our conversation will be dialing into the FMCG ecosystem and clients, but it's important to note that a lot of the work we're doing in retail media is also with the non-FMCG brands, and this is to do with the likes of our partnership with CommBank IQ and further opportunities that we can work in that space. So if we take another step back and look at what sets us apart when it comes to Cartology, and it's really our customers. If you think about Woolworths as a whole, in the last 12 months, we would have seen about 95% of Australian households have shopped at Woolworths. What that means is we have the largest retail customer franchise in Australia. All of this is underpinned by everyday rewards. And typically when I do this part, I tend to go around the room and ask around how many people are everyday rewards members. And I'm sure you're probably sitting at home with a couple of nods or a lot of nods. And that's because 70% of people shopping at Woolworths are actually members of everyday rewards. We are the number, see, thank you, Sam. I love that. Got my nod there. So we are the #1 retail loyalty program in Australia. We have more than 14.7 million members. That's 10.3 million active members as well. So you can see that depth and breadth of data that we have. And what that wealth of insight really does is it helps us when we're working with our partners to plan, to target, to activate, and of course measure with that data as well. So it's really key that that's what sets us apart from other traditional media channels. So where traditional media can plan based on demo, attributes, behavior, we are able to do true precision targeting. So for example, if you're looking at targeting pet food buyers or cereal buyers, rather than inferring or taking up a more broader reach approach, we can actually help you to target those subcategory buyers to help conversion and obviously from a sales perspective as well. So that's what we find is really key too. So the next piece I wanted to share with you, we've done a bit of a wrap up of the retail media landscape. I want to talk a little bit more around how we are working together and how we work with our client partners and agency partners. And the best way for us to look at this is we at Cartology have two distinct teams. But if we flip this a little bit more and put our customer first, if you think about the clients that you have that are working with us and yourselves, typically they have two distinct teams of themselves. There's a brand team and a trade team. Now, usually that both teams have separate budgets, separate needs, separate priorities, separate ways of planning. So it's because of that, we have actually set up to have two distinct teams at Cartology as well. So if we look at the brand team from a client side, this is who you'll be speaking to on a daily basis from a client perspective. Our agency team is really set up and structured to be able to service that. So that's myself and all of the team members that you would be speaking to at the moment for retail out of home and off network. Then on the other side, we have the trade teams on the client side. Now they're typically speaking to our client partnerships team, which allows that full in-store ecosystem and the work that happens there. What we're finding lately, and this is something for you to think about, we're finding that a lot of our clients and agency partners are wanting to talk about what does unified planning look like. We're starting to have a lot more of these discussions. So if this is something of interest, we can of course start to have these conversations or facilitate conversations for you with our trade teams if you think that's going to be the benefit for your clients as well. If we jump to the next slide, what we'll showcase is what I just put in theory. This is what it looks like if the full ecosystem as well. As I mentioned earlier, there's more than 200 retail media touch points that exist within Cartology, and they absolutely touch upon different points of those customer journeys as well. So as you can see, the brand team and our agency teams are working in that space within retail out of home and off network, but there's a whole plethora of opportunities for our trade teams to be working as well with their client partnerships team. So Bon's going to dive in a little bit further on about all of these different assets and the value that each of those can add in the customer journey for your clients as well. And if we look at the key reason of why this is important for us to start having these conversations, and this is why we really want to be leading in this space, customer journeys are no longer linear. I know that we know that, but what that means is no one's following the traditional path anymore. They're going through different stages. The buying process is very different. So it's important we're relevant if we can help you to facilitate these conversations and make sure all of these elements are talking to each other, that we can as well. Key areas, of course, it increases efficiency, it unifies the planning and messaging, maximizes impact, of course, drives brand recognition, and of course, importantly to every single client, it increases sales too. So that's the key takeaway that I wanted to share with you from a planning and I guess our structure of our team's perspective. The final piece here is really around what an integrated planning plan on the page could look like. So we could actually work together on this full stream from pre-shop to post-shop. Looking at the brief is absolutely core of everything we would be doing, making sure we're understanding the needs of both the brand and trade teams on the client side. And then we could work together to make sure we're delivering on work that exists beyond the Woolworths ecosystem and of course within the Woolworths ecosystem as well. So that's just a quick snapshot from me. Now, before I hand over to Carla in my team, what we wanted to quickly highlight is Cartology's unique relationship that we have with clients. So at the core of Cartology and everything that we do, it is absolutely in our values, and we stand by being closest to the customers. So we do that in the way that we deliver on insight. We also do that in the way that we work with the IMAA and our agency partners such as yourselves to make sure if we can help you get closer to your customers, we really want to help facilitate that. And finally, when it comes to being closest to the customer, this major thing that underpins all of this is Woolworths. So we know Woolworths is a part of the Australian fabric and it's been serving customers for more than 100 years now. So some of these relationships with the brands that we're working with are just as long-standing as well. So part of the client partnerships team that are working directly with brands, they're absolutely doing that to help them grow. And some of the ways that they do this is to find those key retail moments that are happening in store. I'm sure when you're walking into a Woolworths, you're seeing these big brand moments and you're wondering, how do my clients work in this space, and wanting to know a bit more. So I'm going to pass to Carla, who's going to dive in a little bit more about winning retail moments in centre too. Over to you, Carla.
Thanks, Holly. Hi, everyone, and great to be here. I'm the Senior Marketing Integration Manager at Cartology, and I'm one of a team of specialists that work within the event and brand integration space. One of our key roles is to successfully and synergistically integrate Woolworths ranged or endemic brands and products into Woolworths-led campaigns. And as the name suggests, Woolworths-led campaigns are those that are created and led by the Woolworths Supermarkets marketing team. They're insight-led and they're designed to generate customer engagement by delivering on customer needs and sentiment at those key retail moments within the retail calendar. These campaigns at varying levels based on the size and the scale of the campaign are backed by the Woolworths buying teams with strong promotional programs and by teams across the Customer X ecosystem, which you may know as teams like WooliesX and EDR. Working together with these key stakeholders and many others across the entire Woolworths Group, our role is to deliver seamless brand integration opportunities across these highly successful traffic and trade driving campaigns. There are over 60 Woolworths-led campaigns in any single calendar year, providing multiple opportunities for brands to leverage and to amplify their share of voice across the omnichannel shopping journey. The campaign templates that you can see on the screen here are of POS aisle fins, and just one example of the opportunity that our brands have to tell their brand story and deliver their key message to Woolworths customers in the in-store environment throughout a campaign period. These are just some examples of the campaign templates from different types of Woolworths-led campaigns, many of which I'm sure you're very familiar with. They include consumer promotions such as Big Night In, now in its 13th year and running across Big W for the very first time as well. This campaign has a very high focus on impulse brands for those big and cozy nights in across the colder winter months, and the campaign is currently live. So I encourage you to check it out and take note of how it's been brought to life across your next omnichannel shopping journey. You may see the campaign come to life across a number of channels, including TV, YouTube, on social platforms, in digital and print catalogue, on front of store screens, as well as across multiple POS solutions in store, while obviously also being heavily promoted across the Woolworths website. Other examples of Woolworths-led campaigns include collectibles campaigns, which generally run once or twice a year, with our most recent being Minecraft Cubies. For those with kids, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Seasonal category events such as Easter, Christmas, Spring Breakfast, and Winter Cold and Flu, to name just a few. Calendar events that are dictated by a specific date on the calendar, such as Halloween, footy finals, Father's Day, and Mother's Day, for example, as well as a number of everyday rewards and promotional price amplification opportunities. Ultimately, Woolworths-led events provide brands with access to unmatched visibility across the shopping journey. They are rooted in insight, they're generating excitement and providing customers with a reason to buy and to trial new products, and they leverage a multitude of omni-channel solutions to drive traffic and awareness, as well as amplification of the Woolworths promotional program. But having said that, our ambition for the future of retail media within the Woolworths ecosystem is much larger than that. By bringing Cartology brand and trade teams together, we can put a holistic and detailed plan in place for each Woolworths-led campaign, now with the opportunity to extend and amplify brand messaging across the pre-store phase of the customer journey. So using insights and targeting relevant customers, we can provide brands with a strong share of voice and cut through from pre-center exposure all the way through to that point of purchase phase of the shopping journey and beyond, with the added ability to align on media flighting, resulting in an even further seamless customer experience through a Woolworths-led campaign. So moving into some results from a recent case study on the July 2024 baby and toddler category event for you. So obviously this campaign focused specifically on the baby category. It's a 4-week campaign and the results were compared to the same 4-week period prior year. Over that period of time, we saw sales for participating brands increase by over 27% versus non-participating brands within the event, which is just huge. And interestingly, there are 300,000 new babies born in Australia each year. And not surprisingly, we do see the majority of those new mums and dads shopping with us at some point. But to put that stat into context, we saw 229,000 new to brand customers to the category within the 4-week period of that event alone. A new to brand customer is one that hasn't shopped the category within 12 months. So given the nature and the loyalty of customers shopping in this category, it really is a staggering statistic. We saw online baby category sales and customers grow by close to 16% across both those metrics, while online searches for the baby search term was up by 8.5% in July versus June, the month prior, ultimately resulting in strong results for all of our participating brands within this event. And so finally, and to reiterate, brand participation across Woolworths-led campaigns like the baby and toddler event are highly successful in delivering to customer needs, driving traffic to Woolworths, and ultimately driving sales and awareness for our brands. It's a win for everybody. And working cohesively with trade and brand teams, the opportunity for agencies and clients alike is in the seamless integration of additional channels like retail out-of-home screens and video on demand into that already comprehensive Woolworths-led event plan to drive that further brand awareness and ensure brands continue to win at these key retail moments throughout the year. And so with that, I'll hand over to my colleague, Bon. Thanks, Bon.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Carla. Good afternoon, everybody. Great to be here, and yeah, thank you for having us. I'm Andrew, and I'm the Solutions Manager within the Strategy and Solutions team here at Cartology. I've been at Cartology for over 6 years now, mainly working across the trade side of the business. Over the years, I've seen the Cartology business grow and evolve to what it is today, now, and as Holly mentioned, covering over 200 touch points and across every stage of the customer journey. Today, I'm excited to take you through the entire end-to-end customer journey here at Cartology and a snapshot of one of our award-winning campaigns. So this slide here demonstrates how we have the ability to implement customer-led media solutions across each phase of the customer journey. In the pre-shop phase, our goal is to be seen, building top-of-funnel awareness and driving category customers into the Woolworths ecosystem with targeted and efficient reach solutions. As customers move to early shop, we aim to be considered as they seek inspiration and guidance. During active shop, the objective is to be chosen, maximizing in-aisle and on-shelf exposure to prompt conversion at the crucial moment of selection. Finally, in post-shop, we strive to be preferred, reconnecting with active, lapsing and lapsed customers to encourage repurchase and build habitual purchase behaviors. The holistic approach ensures consistent brand presence and influence at every stage of the customer journey. So now let's delve a little deeper with a focus on the importance of pre-shop. Some nice background music there. Thanks, guys. So pre-store Cartology brand media, which is typically planned with agencies, strategically spans across retail, out-of-home, and off-network digital channels. As shown in the connected customer journey, we aim to influence customers online, then as they approach the store, and finally within the store itself. This ensures that brands are top of mind even before the customer steps foot into the aisle to purchase a product. This pre-store engagement is crucial for driving initial consideration. So the pre-shop phase is a critical opportunity to bridge the gap between mental availability, which is built before a customer enters the center, and their physical availability in store. Due to our first-party data, pre-shop media can focus on those most likely to transact in store, increasing campaign impact and reducing media wastage. This precision media targeting ensures messages reach the most receptive audience, maximizing efficiency and effectiveness. Retail out-of-home plays a vital role in reinforcing mental availability, effectively bridging the gap between a brand being top of mind and its physical availability in store. On the left, you see various traditional channels that most of you would be familiar with that build mass reach and mental availability, such as TV, cinema, radio, and social. On the right, it represents customer reach, subcategory buyers, and physical availability, showing how brand's presence in stores leads to conversion. Retail out of home ensures that the mental connection to your brand is strong as customers approach the final point of purchase. So now, our contextualized content capabilities significantly drive increased effectiveness, particularly through dynamic and 3D animation. As you can see from these examples, we can incorporate all types of dynamic creative, including live feeds, time of day, day of week targeting, countdown timers, and location-based weather triggering creative. This allows for highly relevant and timely messaging. In fact, campaigns powered by dynamic creative are 48% more effective than non-dynamic campaigns. And 3D creative is actually 3.5 times as effective as static visuals. Across our off-network and digital channels, Cartology can effectively utilize everyday reward segments with a wide array of partners. This allows us to reach pre-shop by audiences on platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify, and various video on-demand services like 10play and 7plus. This broad reach ensures that your brand connects with the right customer segments wherever they are online, even before they actually consider their next grocery shop. So now let's discuss the importance of early shop. Early shop Cartology Media, planned in collaboration with our trade teams, strategically utilizes high-reaching assets like front-of-store screens and homepage video. These touch points are crucial for capturing customer attention right as they begin their shopping journey, influencing their decisions from the very first moment customers enter our store. It's a critical point that early shop media channels get brands closest to customers when they are in the right purchasing mindset and commencing their shop. We know that over 70% of brand purchase decisions occur in store, so we are able to capitalize on this by providing impactful messaging right at the store entrance. Front of store screens are a powerful tool that drives real customer impact and brand growth. These screens are premiumly positioned for maximum cut through at the entrance of every Woolworths store. We're able to reach the most relevant audiences at scale with our first-party data, targeting stores by category sales, geographic area, and or by life stage and demographic data points. And as I've previously spoken about, we also can boost effectiveness with dynamic and 3D capabilities, or combined with retail out of home, which has seen to increase brand recall by 23%. Our homepage video sits at the very heart of the digital storefront, effectively fusing brand building with direct shopping capabilities. This is an unrivaled touch point for grocery scale and impact in the digital journey. With over 900,000 weekly visitors to the homepage, this is a prime location for your brand. Customers engage with the homepage for an average of 60 seconds. And as you can see from this example, we can integrate a brand message directly into the customer's online shopping experience, driving both awareness and immediate purchase intent. So let's move on to the importance of active shop. Active shop Cartology Media, planned collaboratively with our trade teams, includes a comprehensive suite of assets that span from the perimeter of the store all the way to the shelf. This includes various touch points like our health and beauty digital screens, as well as our online in-aisle branded banners and videos. This ensures that brands can engage with customers at multiple touch points throughout their journey, influencing decisions at the point of purchase, both in-store and online. The role of Active Shop is to drive brand choice through aiding navigation, providing education, and ultimately leading to conversion. We ensure each active shop touchpoint, from the moment a customer enters the store and navigates the aisles, contributes to guiding them towards their final purchase decision. And as I spoke about, Active Shop is strategically aimed at driving brand choice through navigation, education, and conversion. Our in-store screens provide a network of rich media content across the store, from deli to the health and beauty aisle and at checkout, ultimately driving brand preference. Our aisle fins intercept customers at the point of purchase, reaching 100% of active category buyers with zero media wastage. Our online display banners and sponsored search are the first assets customers see when searching for a particular product, and we know that 70% of product interactions occur within the first 10 tiles. Finally, brand video marries emotive storytelling with shoppable functionality, leading to over 30% higher add to carts. Lastly, we now come to the importance of post-shop. Australia's #1 loyalty program, Everyday Rewards. It's the powerful engine driving our post-shop phase and re-engagement strategies. We currently have over 10 million active Everyday Rewards members. These members are incredibly valuable. Approximately 70% of all purchases made in Woolworths are made by Everyday Rewards customers and members. They spend about 73% more per basket compared to non-members. In regards to engagement and performance, our rewards EDMs boast an impressive 40% average open rate, which is twice the industry standard. This deep engagement allows us to effectively re-engage customers and foster loyalty and post-purchase. Our post-shop Cartology media, strategically planned with our trade teams, encompasses targeted offers delivered directly via Everyday Rewards app, email, or via the Woolworths app. These direct and personalized communications are key to maintaining customer engagement and encouraging repeat purchase, building a continuous relationship beyond the initial transaction. As mentioned, our post-shop strategy focuses on targeted engagement and personalized offers. Targeted offers leverage first-party data to bring brands closest to Everyday Reward members. This allows us to deliver greater value beyond price. We ensure everything is targeted and personalized, focusing on the right customer at the right time with the right offer. Ultimately, this approach helps to build an ongoing relationship with members, deepening the customer to brand connection. So this visual does a really good job in summarizing the connected customer journey and how all phases work together, from pre-shop activities like off-network and retail out-of-home to active shop with sponsored search and post-shop with one-to-one emails. Every touchpoint is integrated for a seamless experience. So now let's look at the best-in-class example of a through-the-line campaign. This case study focuses on a 4 and 20 campaign, the official Australian Olympic Committee partner of the Olympic Games. The objective was to ignite passion for the Paris 24 Olympics, partnering with Woolworths and Cartology for an integrated, record-breaking omnichannel campaign. The campaign aimed to drive increased brand visibility, sales growth, and brand loyalty through connection with customers. The insight was that Australia is a proud sporting nation, with 80% of Aussies identifying sport as essential to their identity. And we also we were very much aware of the cost of living crisis, with 2 in 3 Australians worried about the rising food costs, turning to the freezer aisle for value. So here's how the 4 and 20 Go for Gold campaign came to life across the customer journey. It included high impact category first unlocks and theatre, both in and out of aisle, showcased by the impactful swimming in aisle execution. the swimming pool execution. It included around-the-clock, day-night creative, targeting the die-hard fans and catch-up viewers. It included an enticing consumer promotion powered by everyday rewards, driving engagement. Finally, high-impact digital placements and contextual out-of-aisle targeting, reaching active category buyers. Truly a best-in-class example of a through-the-line campaign execution spanning across all phases of the customer journey, from pre-shop to post-shop. So now the results. The results of the 4 and 20 campaign were outstanding, exceeding objectives and expectations. For brand visibility and consumer engagement, the campaign generated 273 million in-store and online impressions. The email redemption rate for the competition was over 6%, which is 4 times the engagement benchmark. In terms of driving sales, the campaign resulted in record-breaking 4 and 20 pie sales, with a 76% sales uplift versus the year prior. The fantastic campaign won Cartology's Campaign of the Year in 2024 for the category Best Omnichannel Campaign over 250K. So hopefully this has given you an insightful snapshot into the world of Cartology. I'll now hand you back to Holly, who will bring this all together with a few key takeaways for you.
Thanks, Fawn, much appreciated. So that almost concludes the Cartology Classroom session for today. So you've learned a little bit more about retail media and the evolution as a whole, of course, those big brand moments as well. And then, as Bon's just shared with us, that real connected customer journey. So we hope you've gotten a lot out of the session. But if I can leave you with 3 key takeaways from today's session. So firstly, of course, retail media can play a different role to traditional media. And of course, that's due, as we've discussed today, that transactional data spine that exists within Cartology. So Cartology is here, depending on your campaign and partnership work that you want to do, to make sure that we're giving you that core insight in that pre and post shop phase as well, to make sure we have that complete customer connected journey as well. And then finally, as I mentioned right at the beginning, unified plans and planning is becoming a lot more popular at the moment. And if you think your clients are interested in further understanding that and talking a little bit more about what that integrated planning workshop might look like, then please reach out. So I encourage you to reach out if you have any further questions. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is the first of many of these Cartology Classroom sessions we will be doing. So if there's appetite for a more intimate session or bespoke session for your agency or your clients, I really do encourage you to reach out and connect. So you can either reach out to myself or, of course, any one of your agency partner team members that you'd be working with on a daily basis. So thank you once again for joining this afternoon. We really do appreciate it. And I will hand back to you, Sam, to close out the session.
Thank you so much, Holly, Carla, and Andrew. Greatly appreciated. Very interesting to see what's happening over there. Thanks, guys, and thanks for your ongoing support. Greatly appreciated from the IMAA members. Just a reminder, everyone, the Australia's largest audio event is happening on the 26th of June. So get your tickets. It's there for you guys to go in Sydney. That'll be happening in Melbourne in about a month after that. And then also we've got Christmas in July on the 24th of July, in Brisbane, Soundbites in 30th of July, and Pitchcella in Melbourne on the 17th of July. So thank you, everyone, for your for attending all of those wonderful events. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Cartology, for your support and great insights into what's happening in your business. See you guys.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye.